I'm grinding hard. Why you gotta try to block my shine? We're starting off underground, we ain't even signed. Yelling unity, while stepping on my back. Them lies will come to light, that's why I speak them facts. I'm on my Queen Latifah, I'm bringing you the flavor. I have him hooked on my style, even if he's a player.
Frequency underground, but it's the sound. Mainstream in the clouds, it be loud. Mirror, hope I make you proud. No dealing down. With myself, I take the oath, and I promise. Hopped up out that coffin, I ain't never dead. Heartbeat is forever red. Bravery the bone crushes shit. I ain't never scared. Defying logic in the mist. Riding like a Uber sled. For myself, I do impress. All that matters, that success. I defy me nothing less. How I talk, think and dress. Mental free, not in the fence. Older me was so depressed. They influence it with this. Went against my heart and head.
I like the volume, but you got some creepy doors going on, man.
You gotta get some Vaseline for that.
Put Vaseline on the door. Take two. Yeah. Vaseline on the door. Heard you slightly aggravated by the way of social media. All the information that I got at Wikipedia. Calling you ain't working for some reason you ain't picking up. Hate to see your friend going through and not feeling love. Problems confidential, if you want me that's essential. I don't violate, I trust and speak to residentials. And I don't have a motivation factor or image to protect. They think I only do it just to hit it. I purchase what's necessary. We cooler than February. Be over there in the hurry whenever your eyes float.
Ah, my guy.
Far as the music goes, that came out of nowhere. Somewhere toward the end of high school, I was writing poems, right? I was writing poems, and I entered my poem into a contest, trying to win some money. Long story short, I did not win, but those poems began to be turned into songs, right? So it really did come out of nowhere. I never had a desire to be an artist. I never had a desire to play an instrument. I never had a desire to write a song. Nothing like that. I didn't grow up that way. Even though I was an avid fan of music, I just didn't have that desire. I wanted to be a basketball player, obviously, right? That didn't work out. So what I ended up doing was, I would say about the first 100 songs that I had, they were curse-free, because every time that my mother and my stepfather would come into the room, what I would do was I was kind of hide my books because I didn't want them to see it. So I always thought that they were going to end up finding the books, right? They were going to find my rap books. And so I didn't write any cursing songs in there, right? So like the first 100 songs I had were like curse-free, right? And then when I realized that they probably were never going to see my books unless I showed them to them, which I was still nervous about, and that's when I started cursing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then the rest is history.
I knew video games, action movies, wrestling, basketball, music, but as far as, I didn't even understand, I don't even know how, I still don't know how I became a rapper. Because I didn't grow up wanting to be one. I didn't lean into that or nothing. I knew I liked rap, obviously, but...
You started writing.
Right.
You know, that's when I saw the gift. You started writing, and then by then it was already ingrained in you because that was your out for everything else.
Yeah, I think so. I do music in my sleep. When I first started to get really good at music and a few people started to recognize me, I really had that mindset of, I'm going to make it so I can take care of everyone. I never thought about myself. Wow. Not one time.
This is when I knew that I had a connection with you. Is at our wedding. When everybody signed the book.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going through it. And I see King Richard.
I signed that. I didn't know I did that. Yep. I did that. Oh my
yes,
goodness.
You did. And I was like, King Richard?
Oh my goodness.
King Richard? Chuck said, hip. Oh my goodness. I said, you know what? I like this. And I knew then, but I did not know that. But I didn't know that we shared the same zodiac sign until later on.
Yes.
And I was like, the connections is there.
And you know, it's crazy. There was a postcard that my father read when he was in the service. Uh-huh. He wrote to my mama a postcard. You know, they used to do postcards back in the day.
Right.
And on there, he wrote King Richard.
Oh my goodness.
I never knew this until
maybe 2005, 6, 7. I just happened to pick that as my rap name.
Wow.
What a coincidence.
Yes.
King Richard, 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 King Richard. It's mandatory that I leave it on your brain. Wow, no allegory, factual is how I came. Wow, tell my story about this talent, I don't care for fame. Wow, extraordinary, I am King Richard, man. King Richard, got that flame. King Richard, bring the pain. King Richard, gotta reign. King Richard, what's my name? King Richard, learn it, man. King Richard, know the name. King Richard, say my name. King Richard, what's my name? Network to blow up, so they call me TNT. Like syrup, they sweet, bruh. Sugar fairy MCs, no perp in my cup of Prince. I'm seeing gradually, cause I worked on sleep much. With music, I rest in peace. Speaking of afterlife, I kill him with a half a mic. Jordan with the wizards.
I made a conscious decision to make more positive music. Just because a song is positive don't mean it gotta be corny.
No, that's corny.
So it can still be entertaining and we can still shake our butts to it and still dance, turn up and, sip a little wine or something like. We can still do that, but you have to find a way to do it. Fortunate enough to be able to find a way to create such thing. But it also comes from my personality because this is who I am, not just what I do.
King Richard is the god of rap. If you don't do nothing better, love life. Whether broke or sad, with your love life. Take drama off your list when you scrub right. If you don't do nothing better, love life. If you don't do nothing better, love life. Whether broke or sad, with your love life. Take drama off your list when you scrub right. If you don't do nothing better, love life. Hey yo, I pop like the mass appeal, and I don't need a massive deal because I passed the skill. Still a gentleman, but she want that. I'm a riddler, homie, she gon' focus for real. All new vibes, hit the party with a new mind. Better grind, got it started for a brighter shine. Dip in your spine, going harder every time. I recline like a father when the sun rises.
I've already told y'all a little bit about my musical background and my aspirations and my gifts and all that. But when I met her, you did music, but you were kind of like on a retirement. You was kind of like retired a little bit.
I had just got done with orchestra,
Right.
The Memphis Youth Symphony Orchestra.
Right.
When I first met you, my last performance was like a week before I met you.
Right. And then you were like, well, yeah, I do music, but I'm not gonna. You don't really do music, and I was like, yeah, I do. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then you ended up seeing me at the studio. I went to the studio, and you was like, oh, you do music, girl? I was like, yeah. Why did you? Because everybody says they do it, but I don't believe them, right? And you were like, oh, you really do it. Remember the time I was in the booth, I was rapping, and I was holding KJ, he was in the pamper?
Oh, yeah.
And I was in there rapping the verse while he was in my arms. That was a special time. And he was actually quiet the whole verse. I appreciate that. But something magical happened. I don't know if you remember this. I'm quite sure you do remember this. 2011 came. 2011. I have been making songs all these years or whatever, right? 2011 came, and that's where the real magic came. And that's where the God of Rap came from.
Oh, when you did like some
38 songs in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I knew that something was beyond special when it came to my musical ability. A few thousand songs later, it's like, well, that was a nice little run. But
now you go on these 1 week, 50 songs, not even maybe 100.
Right. It's amazing that I was able to change all those Pampers while still doing all those songs.
Man.
There's a lot of Pampers back in there.
Not one beat.
Didn't miss one beat either. Like, you see all the videos and everything, right? Since I've been an adult, if the money wasn't right, the job, the woman, the kid, the family, the economy, if all of that wasn't right, music was still right. You get it? It's still right. Okay, see that I can't turn it off. It's just there.
For me, I knew I wouldn't have did that anyway, whether I would believe in religion or follow any type of spirituality anyway, because it's just not me. My integrity and my morals and principles won't be compromised. You know what I'm saying? For me, I was never gonna sign that, but a lot of people was like, hey, when you make it, don't forget about me. And to get into certain levels in certain places, you do have to take that invitation. You do. And this, when it comes to that industry, if you will, I just can't do it. That ain't me. I want the money and I want people to know my art, but not at the detriment of that being controlled and manipulated. And
now I understand. You know, when I asked you, I said, man, I know some people that probably could help you out in the industry.
right.
You said, no, I want to do this on my own. I didn't understand then why you said it like that or why you was doing that, but I do now.
Thank you again for your love and experience in hip hop transferred into me. It's been the greatest gift you could ever have gave me. Whether you indirectly gave it to me or didn't.
Yes.
I never thought I would be a part of doing music or anything. I never, because you know I wasn't doing it.
You weren't doing never playing your basketball.
Yeah.
The game.
But man, to be able to say I got over 10,000 songs.
Oh.
Yeah, listening to music when mama go to work. You know, we got the speakers blasting, boy. I mean,
Man.
going to your house, we listening to all these albums and all this stuff. We used to listen to Bone Thugs' whole album. It was a whole vibe. It really was. Like, and I didn't even know that whole time that music was going into my soul and that I would be able to regurgitate that.
Wow.
So I want to thank you once again.
What? Thank you. And I put that all on Uncle Malcolm and Uncle Andy. Uncle Malcolm first, then Uncle Andy when he was DJing.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I done told Uncle Andy too that I appreciate too, because every once in a while he'll come around. He'll be like, man, go on rap to something, So we'll have a little freestyle session and stuff. It was cool, man. Like his CD collection was crazy. Just like Christina, I used to listen to her stuff all the time, and hear Rodney when he had his, and Derek, man, God, rest in peace to Derek.
Yeah.
Man, almost like advanced mathematics, quantum physics, and music.
Wow.
That's the gift I got as far as music. Like when I say I've made over 10,000 songs, I have over 10,000 songs.
Wow.
Actually, I think he might be underselling it, to be honest.
But when I met her, she didn't want to do music. She didn't want to continue it.
I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to hear it.
Because she was like, oh, God, this guy's a rapper, too. Everybody I meet is a damn rapper. And I was like, she was like, no, you go to the studio for real? And I was like, yeah. Me and, my friend in the studio, whatever. Oh. And that's why it's crazy because for many years, my mama, she knew I wrote music and she knew I did music, right?
Right.
It wasn't until more recently where she started to go.
To accept him as
and
a
I'm
rapper.
like, you're a little late, ain't you?
Wow.
Very late. So I'm playing this song that we did. It's called Ferris Wheel. It's about our relationship. Very beautiful song. Lovely. It sounds like a kind of like a doo-wop old time. Cause we make everything. When I say make everything, we on that. Principle.
Yeah, I'm not just.
She rap, sing, write.
I want to start back playing instruments. That's
all that stuff, right?
doing.
What type of instruments do you play?
Oh, I used to play the violin, cello, bass. So you had to go back. So when he started to do the Portrait of a King, he started that.
That's the name of the album I created, and it has the Hardy Boys song on there. Let y'all hear it later. Okay. But when I was doing it, I just felt like it was very therapeutic, and it was very 70% done with it. I noticed it didn't have any cursing on it. Because I make all types of songs, right?
Right.
I noticed it didn't have any cursing on it. And I was like, I didn't really try to do that. But since it doesn't, I'm just make the rest of it with no cursing songs. That way everybody can listen to it. Because, some people... Right. I'm like kind of making my own autobiography, right? Right. And I was like, nothing better than to call it The Portrait of a King.
Wow.
So that's a good title, right?
Yes,
so I'm doing it. I'm doing the video. The kid helped me do the video. She helped me shoot the video. I just really had to see it to fruition. I thought at that time it was like done. It was done. I done it. Here we are now, and there's more to the story that I have to add to it. Yeah. You've given me the freedom and the space to be able to continually to create and to create with you and for you, right?
Yeah.
I remember I used to write songs, and I'd be like, just do this part right here. Okay. And then after a while, I'm writing whole songs for you. He was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. You got more excited about it. And then after a while, it was like, hey, just load up the Pro Tools. I'm ready to record. Wait, you finna do a song without me? You don't need me to write it? Nah, I wrote it. I'm good. Just push play. Just record me. Then it went to, how I record myself. Just set it up. Oh, so you got whole song, many songs without me. Okay, so you don't need me anymore. Okay. But it was great to see you blossom into that. I was glad that I was able to share that gift with you and then be able to share it with others as well along our journey. Even though there was a crazy times with music with other people, wasn't it?
Whoa.
We've seen the lowest of the low.
And the lower of the lowest.
I was going to say we've seen the highest of the highest with other people when it comes to music, but that hasn't really been the case.
It's been through the worst.
Right.
Man.
But you know what? The music is still, it was still there.
Yeah.
When everybody left and it got quiet. I remember that time it got quiet in my head for a few weeks.
Oh, you wouldn't shut up about that.
And it was the first time in my adult life that music wasn't in my head.
And you wouldn't shut up about it. You would not shut up.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to do music ever again. Music, it's obviously, I guess I'm done. It's over. Oh my God.
You know how many times I had to hear that? Oh, it's over. Everything is over.
The ride is over.
Life is over. It's just over.
Yeah.
And then one day, it got so loud in his head. And next, I didn't see him for the next week or two, even though we was living in the same house and also sleeping in the same bed.
All that face tattoos and lean, pot belly ass nigga, that shit is over, nigga. Pretty niggas back in style, you know what I'm saying? It's King Richard, you know what I'm saying? Drink you some alkaline water, hit the gym or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. It's what's in right now. You see that shit? Look, see that? This shit all natural, man. Real, man. That's how it is. Pretty niggas back in style. Fuck you, man.
I feel like if I set the example for the world, hopefully they'll follow.
Right.
Because a lot of times we don't follow stuff because we don't have a model to set our example. They go, oh, that's how you do it.
Right.
And then they can copy it and just take from it what they will.
And see, that's a good way of looking at it.
Our children are at home. They got a mother and a father. They know live together. They know if in their own household where they live, they're not hearing yelling and screaming and arguing and all of this stuff. You think that I'm willingly going to take them to my grandparents' house and let them hear that and not say anything? Y'all clean. Okay, y'all don't do drugs, right? Would you take your kids to a trap house? No. Okay, well, there you go. That's the same thing. But because it's our family, we don't look at it that way. You got to stop looking at it like Jones, Hardy, Flowers, McKay. Stop looking at it from that point and start looking at it from right and wrong. That's what makes it feel like an occult. Because when it's a cult, nothing's above the occult. When it comes to the Illuminati, the only thing that matters is the Illuminati. The members are interchangeable. They gonna die, they gonna get initiated, they gonna whatever. It has to be more about the principle that we supposed to be living by, more so than the name.
And I don't know if he ever told you that I tried to run him over with the car.
Yeah. Was this before we had Bear or right before?
It's right after we had.
Right after we had Bear. I didn't even move out of the way.
He didn't move out the way. But
It was at
that moment, I don't know if I stopped the brakes or the brakes stopped
the brakes stopped itself.
But we were in a terrible point of our relationship that he never told people that I did certain. I did some things to him.
Well, I used to tell people they ain't believe me.
And I would, they say you throw the rock and hide your head. That's what I was doing. And I had to be open and honest about it because what are you going to tell your kids that y'all were just perfect?
It's one of them things where it's going, you can either ride with it or be the resistance. And if you're going to be the resistance, you're going to get left behind.
I think what Richard's trying to get you to understand is he took me there, took me to who y'all were. And I seen the beginning of our relationship.
So I used to tell y'all nigga he was hell on wheels and y'all didn't believe me.
I was not who I say I was.
But I wasn't no hell on wheels.
Mama, you was hell on wheels when you was with Bo in the early days. Like she said, KJ, did y'all see me and your daddy fighting? They was like, no, but I did see daddy knock your glasses off one time, right? And then they said, y'all didn't see nothing after that? They were like, nah. She said, it's crazy that you never hit me, but you knocked my glasses off. You were mad. And they don't even remember that after you knocked my glasses off, I started fighting you. I said, of course, because we never see what women do.
real young, so.
They were playing the same game. Okay. Meaning that he wanted to be with her, but she wouldn't let him. He used sex as an antidote. He used sex as medicine. He thought that in all of his misery, couldn't be with his wife, couldn't be with his family, because she wouldn't let him. He would be with girl after girl.
Gonna have a play, be a talk to him. And of course, you know, I took B everywhere she went.
Right, of course.
So she said, I'm going over there. My thing sometimes be, or even if I didn't get home at a certain time, I said, B, you gonna get me in trouble. Because that's how you, I need to be in that house. If my time was 2 o'clock, 1, I don't need to be in there 1 after or 2 after. Now he can do it. Sit down. She said, oh, this is my best friend, Laquita. And then they said, nice to meet you. So he went on, because there was a lady, I guess his wife, whatever was there. So I sat over here and B went to read for the script or whatever. We get ready to leave or something. So I said, there's a man out there. And I drove my car. Because they said, we don't know him. And I'm like, oh my God. Your father. He knew I was going.
Right.
He got in the trunk, Richard.
You said he what?
Got in the trunk.
Trunk of what?
My car.
What vehicle was this he was driving?
This was at my Cutlass, the last, and I gave it to B after Richard died.
He was in the trunk of the Cutlass.
Everything we were talking about, laughing about, because we weren't talking about no men or nothing like that.
Right.
We just talking and laughing.
Right.
You do it like
girl,
we do.
Chit-chat, get it.
Yeah, chit-chat. We ain't got no... Everything that we talked about...
He knew.
He knew. And when he was saying it to me, I'm like...
You gotta...
Wait.
Then I have to think the way that Tanya think is, if that's the case, if he was such a bad person, why continually bring him up when you're free of that? Because you did get married after.
And guess
many
what?
years later.
And there were 3 people in the marriage. You and Richard scare me. What do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean, Mom? You guys love each other too much, and you love each other more than you love your children.
Well, let me ask you this, one other question. Did you ever hear that your father may have been on drugs? Did you hear that story?
Nah, I only heard Mama say he used to drink beer a little bit. He didn't drink alcohol too much, but he drank beer. But these episodes where you saying he in this house, you come home from partying or wherever, friend's house, wherever, you come through the door and he's sitting in the dark.
And he shoots.
And he's shooting out lights and.
So when y'all, do you remember when y'all first moved? Did y'all see any bullet holes in the house?
We did.
No bullet holes.
Okay.
We didn't have no heat.
Yeah.
Me, Keisha, Duke, Whoppy was staying here, right?
That's right.
Me and Keisha got to fighting in here. And it was so bad, Duke had to break it up.
Oh, wow.
But he never said, Hilp, you wrong. He said, Keisha, you wrong. Because she swung first. She hit me repeatedly. And I still tried not to hit her. I pushed her off me. When I pushed her, the force of me pushing her made her fall back onto the couch. Logically, like...
It makes it matter.
It's like, I can't believe you did that. So then it continually ensued. It went on for a few minutes. My work uniforms got cut up.
Yeah.
That's the time. A couple of my rap books, she tore them up, and that whole situation happened. And I found myself saying to myself, I'm gonna be honest with you. How in the hell did I get here again? Ella got to fighting in her house. She locked me in the house. You know, the lock on the inside. She locked me in the house, bit my nose, and my nose swelled up 3 times the size of this. And after that, she was patching me up. And see what I'm saying? Those could have easily been the end.
Sure could have.
I could have went to jail, died. She could have died. It could have. When I got to her, and we got into it, like physically. I never hit her. I pushed her.
She only wanted to remember what he did to her.
Yeah.
She did not want to remember what she did to her.
Yep.
And a lot of women, and this is not against, this is actually for all women, because a lot of us will throw rocks and hide our hands. And they will say, "Oh, I didn't do this. I was perfect. This was that." And it's so quick how we all put the men business out there, but we don't say out.
All the stuff we're talking about with us is 10, 12, 13, 14 years ago. We're not talking about something current, but we can talk about it because we've gotten it out our system. But if you listen, you can hear it before we were born in others.
Yeah, very interesting.
Women's business, for some reason, never gets brought to the surface. However, the minute that a man does wrong, everybody knows about it.
That's true.
We've been through that ourselves.
Right. And it's actually, I've had friends that I would hold secrets for, and I didn't want to hold secrets because it was hurting more than one person. You know, as far as like throwing the rock high, hiding your hand, I've seen it. Why did you allow me to see it and nobody else?
Right.
Now I'm feeling bad for everybody that's involved. It's like a girl of mine saying, hey, I'm going to say that I'm pregnant to this guy and, see what happens. And here I am being quiet about it, knowing that it's a lie. It's supposed to be a joke. But when you egg it on for more than weeks and then you say, oh, I had the baby, it's egged on for so long, and here I am, like, yo, like, this was supposed to be like a joke, and you dragged it out for a whole year. And then turn around, oh, he knew I was playing, he knew that I wasn't serious, but he's still saying that, where's his baby at? It's sad that we do have women out there that's like that.
Swelling of the nose and the bruises and the blood, and I knew I was in a crazy place because after we got done, we were patching each other up. And then her mother and her sister came back, and we act like nothing happened. You do not get to, as my mother, whatever y'all had and what happened back then is what happened then, right? It's be fully in my life and your grandkids, because we got the grandkids, the so-called good grandkids that everybody just want to keep and everything. You don't get to continue on and mislead because it's going to go down to them. We already got 1 or 2 children that have a lying problem. Would you say 1 or 2? 2. 2.
That's evidence.
So they good, but they good by our standards.
But the problem is the one child that lies the most.
Acts just like my mama.
That's the one child that she kept
the most. We only got 2 rules in the house. They all know the rules. No lying, control your emotions.
And 2 of them just won't stop breaking both.
We give them a heavy dose of accountability. That's something that I didn't get. And so when people will say, why you let people do you like that at 18 and 22 and 23? And my family, y'all taught me to be like that. Y'all told me to be slave-minded. Yep. Y'all taught me to let people do whatever they want to me. And this is what upset my mama years ago. I told her, I treat everybody the same. You're supposed to treat me different. I'm your mother. No, I'm not. They all taught me to treat everybody the same. So now when I'm exercising this, now it's a problem. It's just like the honesty thing. And now our kids get the benefit of actually growing up in a healed house. They get the benefit of growing up in a house where they're heard, where they're protected. Because a lot of us are still dealing with stuff from our childhood and we 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. Why? Because in that generation it was taboo to talk about it.
Yeah.
We don't live in that generation anymore.
I know.
So my thing is, if the longer you hold on to it, the longer it's gonna be a division. We can't operate that way. That way is at one time we normalized it because at one time slavery was normalized, and they didn't think nothing was wrong with it.
We're not. When the kids come, who's around? I mean, you can't keep them locked away.
Once you start with the mirror, then you can start in your house. Then once you go there, then you can go to your family. We've already done the first 2 things. Whatever you learned, you can unlearn. And that's the problem I have with y'all generation is just like the younger generation. You couldn't help it then, but you can help it going forward. It's not about going back and pointing the finger at every little wrong that was done in your grandparents and uncles and mamas and daddy's life. It's about getting them to understand. That's why today look the way it do, because of the stuff that y'all did. And if we don't change, if me and her didn't change, guess what our kids gonna do? They're gonna go through the same stuff we went through. I want my legacy to be remembered as somebody who cared more about what was right, more than my image, more than my finances, more than how many women I had in my life. I want that to matter the most.
Yeah. We were just womanizing, couldn't stop. But he was just
sweet with
a big heart.
See, the thing is, I was addicted to sex for many, many years. Nobody knows except her. And of course now you.
Yeah.
Because I remember way back in the day, dudes would use that as an excuse, and people said it wasn't true until they did a study and found out you can be addicted to anything.
Yeah, because I
was addicted to it was more of the mental aspect of it. I was able to correct that on my own, which that's technically what you're supposed to do. I mean, you can go get counseling, you can pray it away, however you want to do it. 10,000 ways. I'm going to tell you one thing I've learned as a gentleman, watching the womanizer, man, because I had my time as a womanizer too, very short-lived. It's not the fact they can't stop. They have no reason to stop because they're still getting their way.
It's a choice.
Those guys are no different than the guys that are in this generation they have. Like let's say Nick Cannon. He got 20 kids with 20 different women. You know why? Because some other woman is always going to line up to be the next one.
Yeah.
So as long as I know, because they laugh at guys like me, because I know the less I care, the more she care. It works. It's been working forever. Now, it's not all cases, but in most cases it is. So when you say if you wanted this thing to work out, you would have stopped doing this or doing that with these other women. He knew for a fact you weren't going anywhere. And you knew for a fact you weren't going too far.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So when you seen the black eyes and all of the scars and stuff like that, you like actually seen him like beat her on multiple occasions?
I've seen them fight a few times. Yes, I have. And I know when we left the house, if we was going to Grandma Bernice or Granny Papa house, we was running from him because usually something didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who started. I just know that she was the one that was always messed up.
Bruised up.
Yeah. The black eyes and hiding behind shades on a regular and things like that.
The person that I'm hearing that he's just this terrible person is his mama. And he kept saying, I'm not an abuser. He admits domestic violence. He admits it.
And guess what?
He didn't
Most
draw
people
back.
do not even understand the difference between domestic violence and being an abuser. They think that's the same thing, and it's not. If a woman hits me, I have every right to hit her back. Now, if I choose not to, I can choose not to. But if someone is putting my life in danger, I have every right to defend myself. Saying that's completely different than the guy who gets off work and decides he wants to beat on his wife because he had a bad day at work.
Everybody going in different directions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With what happened with their concept.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even me, I didn't even know your dad.
Right.
But from what I've been told from different people, I got my own way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, there's never going to be nothing until there's some closure.
I literally can talk to his daddy and say, can you come and talk to me and give me this energy or let me know that you're here? I got a video of him like trying to manifest. We got videos of our doors opening.
What?
Now I'm sitting on the opposite side. So imagine you sitting here and that door open, you sitting right here, and you waiting on somebody to come through the door and don't nobody come through the door. I get up, everybody sleep. All 7 people.
Oh.
Our kids they love music.
They're amazing. But they were playing this, we call it, what you call it, ominous. Like this.
Ominous. It's a
music.
Very unique sound.
The name of the game is called Doors. But the song or the name of that
song
music
is called
Curious Light.
Right?
Wow.
And I said, when does this music play? When you die, the music plays.
I'm getting goosebumps all over. So, okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting this energy.
You're good.
I asked my son, I said, so what happens at the end after they died? This is the music that comes on? And he said, yeah, because, you running from entities and you can't let the entities get you. Once the entities get you, it's, it goes, you got to go through that door and close the door. My son had just seen, his dad in the hallway. The song, my son said, Mama, I don't play it no more and I still hear it. Give me what's the entities. Mm-hmm. And they were saying it's, people who are trying to come back from, from the dead. Yeah. Entities. I seen entities behind him. He keeps those entities away. He's trying to, like he said, basically solve his own murder.
Now, do you know how unique? You're trying to stop something that is not meant for you to stop. It's meant for us to know.
Later on that night, you guys were asleep. Because Christine went over there watching y'all. So, he wasn't. Right. Of course, he knew where I was going. Right. Because boys on Sundays, ladies' night or whatever, and we witnessed always was us girls. Right. So, during that time, it was always me and Sheila, Betty, Donna, Robin went with us too. She said, don't look, just keep talking to me like, that's okay. She said, don't look around. I said, what? She said, Richard is here. And I said to myself, oh my God. They didn't say nothing. There wasn't nothing going on. It was me and the girls. Right. So I sat down. She said, I told what's called the checks, badges, or pay, whatever he does. And went and told management. I don't know if he has it. He said, but he normally carries a gun. So when I seen him, because when Sheila moved, he didn't know where she moved that time. She said, you leave your car here and ride with me. Right. He asked me to sit down and he had a beer, and I said, I'm getting ready to leave. So I got up. I knew he was going to take me to get my car. She was out. I said, no, you stay here. Have a good time. So he took me. I said, oh, this is where Sheila stays. Didn't want to know where to be saved. Right. Because he did that before and went to B's house. And I was on my way to Millington while he goes over there and he slaps her in the face. Slapped her. Where's my wife? Where's Cleta? So she left here. He worked at the depot. And she ended up, he lost that job and Terry got him that job.
So you left with him?
I left with him. Okay. And so he took me to get the car. Right. We leave, going down the highway, low speed limit. He's bumping me with the van. And I'm driving. So, well, Lord, I'm going to die tonight. Cutlass, Supreme.
Oh my God, you were riding in the cut dog.
Cut dog, yeah, baby. I was shoot. Don't play.
So he was bumping you while
I'm going 55, 60, and I was speeding up, a little bit, and he was bumping me. So he comes in the house. He comes in the house. I didn't say get out or nothing like that. I said, you need to lay down. Let's lay on the couch. You just need to lay down. I said, this is ridiculous. Just lay down. I didn't say you had to leave because he come up in there. Right. I said, just go on the couch and lay down.
And we were in the room sleeping.
Yeah, and y'all in the room asleep. I went in and checked on you guys. You and everybody knocked out. And so we sat up and we talked. And he kept asking me.
Do you hear something? Hold on, Mama. Hold on. Do you hear something over there? Or am I tripping?
Somebody keeps sitting in the chair. That's what I'm hearing.
Shit. He here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I know I'm not hearing. Yeah. I know I'm not. I know.
It sounds like somebody sitting at the table.
Somebody sound like they're getting up, sitting down, getting up. I know I heard the table. The weight of somebody's butt sitting in the chair.
Like try to sit down in one of them chairs.
That's how it sounds. That's exactly the sound we just heard.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Come on and babysit. He'll You know, and I tell him where I'm going, even though we're separated. You coming back? I said, I will. I can't, not right now. And he kept on it, and it made me angry. And before I knew it, I'm not coming back.
You said that?
I said that. What do you want me for? You don't want me and the kids. And I'm talking about his kids now.
That's one thing that I kept getting. My kids.
My kids.
My kids. My kids. My kids. My kids.
Uh-huh.
My kids.
Yes,
it's like he was very...
yes. The lady next door used to say, I know he's a good father. Because them kids hear that vehicle.
Roll up with you.
They fly about that house.
But
I would too.
But see, like I said,
over there. That's how much I loved him.
You can be a great provider and protector, but have horrible character. Two things can be true at once. It doesn't have to be either or. Yeah. Because I haven't heard none of my three sisters say that daddy wasn't a good dad.
He had so much on his mind. His
mind you said was restless.
He was so restless. I had got in the bed, basically in the middle, between you and Reed. Heard a gunshot. I jumped up. By the time I was able to jump up, me, Tanya, and Tasha run down the hall at the same time.
About how long do you think between the time that you seen him and told him to go lay down, and he did between the time you heard the gunshot? How many minutes? Give me a rough estimate.
I don't even know if it was an hour. I don't know. It was a couple hours.
So it wasn't like 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No.
In my mind,
no.
I guess I gave it that time.
It's a little while.
Okay, so you saying
long?
30 minutes to a couple of hours.
I don't think it's even a couple. Maybe
an hour to an hour and a half.
Hour.
You got a time frame over there?
We heard the gunshot.
Right.
Heard him holler, and I could just see him doing this, and lay back just on the couch. And nothing. Lips turned instantly blue. And I'm like, what, Richard, what? And raised up, I'm looking because there's no blood. And he just kind of, like it killed him instantly. When he did that and fell back, I called 911. Of course, they just sit there. They didn't do any no resuscitation or anything like that, none of that. You just hold his hand and, hold his hand. But, so I seen I raised the shirt, seen just a little hole.
No blood coming out.
No blood coming out. And I just cried. I said, oh my God, I was walking, pacing back and forth. Oh my God, this happened. And then all I can think of it sounds crazy. They're going to think I did something. Oh my God. Guns in the floor, but I took it and did this and
it was on the floor. Okay.
Wherever, I guess when the shot dropped.
And
they were jumping around it. I don't know because I don't know anything about guns. So I just picked it up like this
and put it on the table.
Yeah, I just set it out.
So that's how it got on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. Weren't we told that he was, they tried to save his life?
Yes, we were told they tried to save my father's life.
But the biggest question is, why would the number one thing be oh my gosh, I need to save my husband, my soulmate? Not, oh my gosh.
They're going to think I did it. No. Tasha and Tanya were jumping around the gun.
They were jumping around the gun when Tanya said she didn't even see the gun.
She did say that.
Tanya, you remember saying that?
But
oh my.
The kids was jumping around the gun. And they didn't try to save his life. They didn't try to do anything, but she said he was practically dead right there.
How would you be able to see him do that and fall back if he was laying down first? What did he do, stand up?
He sat up and then laid back down and fell back down?
I'm just saying it doesn't sound practical. It
almost sounds like you were right there when it happened.
Like when the shot happened?
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Because
who knows?
What truth do we get?
I asked her while she was staying with us, right? You remember this. I asked her about other children. She said there were none. I asked her about, well, what happened? The gun accidentally went off. I don't know. The thing, it's, something like, I don't know. That's the story I got.
And me and Daddy went to the bed, and they cut his shirt off in the helicopter. Because they called me later, police, where's his shirt? I said, he had it on when he left here.
What was he wearing?
A plaid, a blue plaid, which was just plaid shirt.
Oh, okay. So
jeans, that type, 25, whatever
it was
those
a 25
called.
caliber, yeah.
He said the bullets travel.
I've heard that before.
He said if it would have missed that main artery right here, and it hit that, and he bled internally.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You guys at home by yourselves? Why they at the club and...
Oh, you talking about us kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all by yourselves?
And then she realized that nobody was watching us. So instead of telling us nobody was watching us, she skimmed over it.
Yeah. Kids at home by themselves?
Because in the paper it doesn't say we were there.
We all were talking. We were discussing the situation, and I had told him what I was getting, and Chris said he literally seen his apparition at his house in Nashville. How is Chris seeing him? His cousin said no, all of them.
Meaning?
He said I heard him say all of them. So it's more than 2 to 3 people involved, and it's mostly the Jones side.
When that chick got that moving that out, he knew she was lying right then.
We were all in Mama's bed. Mama was in my room because the air conditioner was only in Mama's room.
Oh, wait.
Mama was closer by where Daddy was because the first room, as soon as you go down the hallway, was supposedly mine.
Right.
And then the room a little further on the same side was hers, and then y'all's room was on the back of the house, of the duplex. I don't remember where Tasha was after Mama went next across the street to Miss Vera to call for an ambulance.
Right.
But I remember just sitting there
watching,
looking at him, just watching him. Deep shallow breaths and his eyes rolling back of his head and things like that. And I'm just sitting there.
He was tired that night. He didn't want to go over there. He was tired. He went out with someone. He was out. They were out. And he got back home. He was tired because he was getting ready to go to bed when he was called. This is what I was getting directly from him.
Right.
And that's where he kept, it's like he had keys. As he was walking in, he kept patting himself. I asked, where's the gun? He said, I don't have.
That last day that I talked to him, we was supposed to be going to a motorcycle club at night. And I said, Richard, you going to the club? He said, no, I'm tired. I said, man, you'll get some energy once we get in there. He said, I'm tired.
What?
I remember him, he kept just saying, I'm tired.
And that was like the day before? Day of?
That was that same night.
Oh.
Really?
I didn't know you.
Because, see, when we would go to the club, if I had some money, he had some money. If he didn't have no money, he had some money if I had some. If I didn't have none and he had some, I had money.
Right.
But so I didn't go to the club that night either because I ain't have no money.
Right.
Right.
Right. So that bothered me for a while why he kept saying he was tired.
When I heard that and I spoke at his funeral, I never questioned it. Right. I knew it was a lie. I knew it was a lie that he killed, that he shot himself. Word was going around that he didn't do that. I wouldn't respond. I'm not gonna put gas on the fire. I can tell you, ain't no way my bro done that to himself now.
traveled down this road before. In another world, my soul free forever with the glow. Cause the drama ain't explode. Did my dirt on dollar soul. Pay on earth before I go. But more gentlemen I show. So my dead already gone. In my father's funeral. Ignorant to what go on. But they feeling on me strong. Like daddy ain't coming home. And without him I must grow. But that pain would stunt my growth. And my family was so. Had to patch up that big hole. Find myself as an adult was the most difficult. With no tools I learned real slow. Though genius in my mental. And I took some real big blows. Like a boxer but ain't foe. I'm the son of who was bold. More like him the more I go. Live my life just how I want. Kinda reckless, yeah I know. But with life you never know. I might not see tomorrow. So say love you to my folks. My 3 sisters cause we so tight as hats with a logo. No longer incognito. All the good and bad you see. Dysfunction and chemistry is the reason I am me. It's a portrait of a king. Many may remember me as much different than I seem. And it's Richard honestly. It's a portrait of a king. Snap a pic for memories. Keep a portrait of a king. Shoot some footage annually. It's a portrait of a king. On my daddy's son you see. Second portrait of a king. And I'm grateful as it seems. It's a portrait of a king. Used to really hate the fact. Only boy out of the pack. Youngest one to be exact. How I was in the act. I was me when I think back. Just more quiet and intact. Plus ain't know that I was black. Till racism showed me that. With some whites I'm gonna clash. But my biggest fight was black. Like the bullies in my class. Check my clothes and ain't show slack. At that point I wanted that. But a step is all I had. Almost decent but the fact wasn't richer, so I'm sad. Late bloomer out the sack. I was so naive to that. Cost me pain, it cost me stacks. Now my child felt like I crashed. Kept on coming in contact with these ladies that were bad. But my biggest impact was my kids, now I'm a dad. Much more detail, I'm compact. And the truth I won't subtract. All of me I do unwrap. After this, it's a wrap. No attention for attacks. I see life and see my dad. In that mirror we attach. Better capture this artifact. All the good and bad you see. Dysfunction and chemistry is the reason I am me. It's a portrait of a king. Many may remember me as much different than I seem. And it's Richard honestly. It's a portrait